What if I told you that one WWE RAW segment just put AJ Styles' entire career on the line, reopened a 20-year rivalry, and teased a match fans thought they might never see again? Because when AJ Styles and CM Punk stood face-to-face on Raw, this wasn't nostalgia. This was a warning. Welcome back to Wrestling News WWE, the home of deep wrestling stories, big match breakdowns, and the moments that changed WWE forever. If you love real analysis and not just highlights, you're in the right place. That Raw kicks off with a familiar sound. AJ Styles' music hits and the crowd knows exactly what this means. That AJ walks to the ring with purpose, not celebration. This isn't about memories, this is about legacy. AJ grabs the mic and makes it clear he wants to be world champion one more time, not for validation, not for ego, but because he believes it's still his era. AJ acknowledges Gunther. He gives him respect, calls him good, dangerous, dominant. But then AJ draws the line. Gunther is not phenomenal. That's when everything changes, because the moment AJ finishes that sentence, CM Punk's music hits. The building erupts. Punk walks out slowly, focused, almost concerned. This isn't the Punk who insults crowds. This is the Punk who knows something AJ doesn't. Punk gets in the ring, grabs a mic, and asks AJ a simple question. Did you figure out why I'm out here? He reminds everyone that he's known AJ Styles for over 20 years. They've been allies, they've been rivals, they've been enemies, and now there's nothing left but respect. That's what makes what Punk says next hit harder. He asks AJ what he's doing. Why would he put his career on the line against Gunther? Because if AJ loses, it's over. And oh, more AJ Styles. Punk says AJ still has gas in the tank, still has moments left to create in front of these fans. And Saturday's stakes, they're too high that AJ doesn't take this as concern. He takes it as doubt that AJ asks Punk directly if he thinks he can't beat Gunther. Punk pushes back. He says that's not what he's saying, but AJ hears it anyway. Punk reminds AJ of something important. Yes, Punk beat Gunther, but the referee raised Gunther's hand. Then Punk drops the real bomb. If AJ loses on Saturday, we will never see CM Punk versus AJ Styles in a WWE ring. The crowd realizes what's being teased at. AJ says he understands Punk's intent, but the message feels disrespectful, and Punk fires back with something unexpected. He calls AJ selfish, because AJ isn't just risking his own career. He's risking a match the fans deserve. That AJ fires back with confidence. He says he knows he can beat Gunther and he knows he can beat CM Punk. That's when Punk smiles. Punk says it's hard to beat a great opponent twice. And if AJ loses on Saturday, he can never prove he can beat CM Punk. That AJ doesn't want words anymore. That he wants action. That he challenges Punk tonight. Beat Punk, then beat Gunther. Become number one contender. Punk looks at the crowd, looks at AJ, and reminds everyone that he won the title on November 1st STE. He promised to be a fighting champion. Ooh, if they're doing this tonight, it's not just a match, that it's for the championship. And just like that, CM Punk makes it official. J Styles, CM Punk, tightly on the line, doesn't just give us a match, it gives us a crossroads. And as the show cuts back to footage from Saturday night's main event, one question hangs in the air. Is AJ Styles chasing one last dream or walking straight into the end of his career? This is why moments like this matter. This isn't about wins and losses. It's about legacy. That if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like. Raw didn't just deliver a match tonight. Delivered a statement. 6 elite competitors, 3 championships, 1 ring, and by the end of it, 1 unstoppable force standing tall. When chaos collided with dominance, the question wasn't who would win. It was who would survive. Rhea Ripley, where we don't just watch wrestling. We break it down, feel the impact, and tell the story behind every slam, every strategy, and every statement made inside the ring. Let's dive straight into one of the most explosive women's matches we've seen on WWE RAW. This 6-woman tag team match wasn't just stacked, it was layered with power, precision, and purpose. On one side, the Judgment Day came in unified, dangerous, and tactical. Raquel Rodriguez brought raw strength, Liv Morgan brought unpredictability, and Roxanne Perez played the wildcard role to perfection. Quick, sharp, and always calculating. Opposite them stood a team that screamed dominance before the bell even rang. WWE Women's World Champion Stephanie Vasher, calm and ruthless. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Rio, a duo that might be the most intimidating combination in the division. Rhea Ripley's brutality fused with Io Ski's aerial genius. From the opening moments, the match told a clear story. Judgment Day wanted chaos while Rhea's team wanted control. The pace constantly shifted. Power exchanges from Raquel, fast counters from Perez, and sudden bursts of offense from Liv Morgan that kept everyone guessing. The turning point came late in the match when momentum looked like it was swinging Judgment Day's way. Liv Morgan went for Oblivion, her signature, her moment. But timing changed everything. Roxanne Perez tagged herself in, trying to capitalize instantly, aiming to steal the finish and outsmart the champions. Instead, it triggered the storm. Perez struck with a chop block targeting the leg and tried to neutralize Rhea Ripley's power. Smart strategy, but not enough. Rhea absorbed the damage and shut down a potential Codebreaker attempt with pure strength and awareness. That's the difference between experience and ambition. Then the ring exploded that Io Sky launched in with a missile dropkick, cutting Perez down mid-sequence and flipping the energy of the match in seconds. The crowd felt it, Judgment Day felt it, and Perez felt the shift from opportunity to danger. Stephanie Baker held control on the outside, keeping Raquel and Liv from interfering while Rhea Ripley locked in on her target. 1. Thunderous head, but later the message was clear. This was over. Riptide, center of the ring, game over. The 3-0 wasn't just a finish, it was a declaration. Rhea Ripley's team stood tall, champions united, celebrating not just a victory but dominance. This wasn't about surviving Judgment Day. This was about proving that when strategy meets power, when precision meets brutality, the result is inevitable. And as they celebrated, one thing became clear: the women's division on Raw doesn't just revolve around championships, it revolves around Rhea Ripley. That's the story, the impact, and the aftermath, only on Hi Toronto didn't just boo Paul Heyman on Raw, they challenged his authority. And that's exactly when things spiraled out of control. What started as a routine confrontation turned into a night where suspensions were erased. Royal Rumble spots were handed out and Bron Breakker's future took a massive turn. This wasn't chaos, this was strategy. To where WWE stories don't end in the ring, they begin here, but Raw opens with an unsettling sight: Paul Heyman leading it. Unit that feels less like a faction and more like a warning. Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, Bron Breakker, all walking with purpose, all walking with leverage. Before Heyman even speaks, Toronto lets him have it. The boos rain down instantly and Heyman leans into it. He doesn't rush. He doesn't react emotionally. Instead, he reminds everyone that they're furious at words. He hasn't even said yet. Classic Heyman psychology. Control the crowd before controlling the narrative. He formally introduces himself. Then the group, branding them not as allies but as the Vision, not a team. A direction for WWE's future. And right away he makes it personal, taking shots at Toronto and promising that the night will stretch endlessly if the fans don't let him talk. It's disrespect by design. Heyman begins breaking down each member like assets on a balance sheet. First, Austin Theory, positioned as the hottest prospect of the coming years, not potential inevitability. Heyman frames Theory not as someone who needs opportunity, but someone WWE can't afford to waste. Then comes Bronson Reed. Heyman doesn't hype, he legitimizes, calling him the master of the tsunami and highlighting his repeated success against Roman Reigns reframes Reed from powerhouse to proven threat. This isn't muscle, this is momentum. Next, Logan Paul, the wild card, the outsider who thrives under pressure, whose presence alone disrupts traditional locker room hierarchy. Heyman doesn't justify Logan, he normalizes him as part of the system. Finally, the reason the entire segment exists: Bron Breakker. Heyman reveals that Bron is here for a face-to-face with Adam Pearce. But before Pearce appears, Heyman insists the audience understand why this meeting is happening. We're shown footage from 2 weeks ago. Physical contact between Pearce and Bron. Heyman frames it not as chaos but as misconduct, authority crossing a line. Then last week's footage rolls, the brass knuckles incident. Heyman connects the dots, arguing that this meeting isn't courtesy, it's consequence. Only then does he invite Adam Pearce to the ring at his leisure. Power move. Pearce walks out calm, measured, but clearly under pressure. He admits he's not here to dodge responsibility. He openly acknowledges that he put his hands on Bron first and he apologizes. That alone shifts the dynamic. Authority doesn't usually apologize in WWE. Pearce then addresses the elephant in the room: Bron Breakker suspension. He turns to Heyman and in one decisive moment announces that the suspension is lifted, and Bron Breakker is officially entered into the Royal Rumble, and oh hesitation. No to vote, Ammon accepts instantly. No argument needed because the objective was already achieved. But Pearce doesn't stop there. He looks at Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory and confirms all three are also Royal Rumble entrants. Suddenly, what felt like a confrontation becomes a negotiation that Pearce is losing ground in. Then comes the final twist. Pearce addresses Austin Theory directly. He acknowledges that without brass knuckles, Theory might have defeated Rey Mysterio. Instead of punishment, Pearce offers redemption. Austin Theory gets his opportunity tonight. This wasn't a segment about apologies, that it was about Paul Heyman walking into Raw and walking out with leverage, momentum, and 4 Royal Rumble entries, including the most dangerous young powerhouse in WWE. Didn't just set the Royal Rumble field, it reshaped it. And if this is what the Vision looks like now, imagine what happens when Bron Breakker hits the Rumble at full speed. For deep dives, real analysis, and stories beyond the bell. We witnessed on WWE RAW wasn't just a post-match attack. It was a calculated message sent through pure destruction. One by one, alliances blurred, tempers exploded, and Pinta found himself trapped in a storm he never saw coming. And the scariest part, it didn't stop when it should have. The place where WWE moments aren't just recapped, they're broken down, decoded, and felt. If you love intense storytelling and hard-hitting wrestling analysis, you're in the right ring. The match had barely ended when chaos took over Raw. As the bell faded, Bronson Reed wasted no time shifting the night from competition to carnage. He launched himself at Penta, unloading heavy strikes and making it clear this was personal. Before the damage could escalate further, Lee stepped in trying to pull Reed away. For a split second, it looked like things might cool down, but WWE RAW rarely offers mercy. Out of nowhere, Logan Paul entered the scene and blindsided Lee with a sharp punch, instantly changing the numbers game. That single strike opened the floodgates. Bron Breakker charged in like a missile and delivered a brutal spear that echoed through the arena. The impact alone shifted the entire tone. This was no longer about sending a message. This was about domination. Logan Paul seized the moment. He climbed to the top rope, feeding off the chaos, and crashed down with a perfectly timed frog splash. The crowd reacted in shock as the assault continued without hesitation. But the worst was yet to come. Bron Breakker lined up Penna once again and drove him into the mat with another devastating spear. As Penny struggled to recover, Bronson Reed dragged him into the corner, climbed up, and unleashed a crushing tsunami that left no doubt about the intent behind this ambush. The referee rushed in, desperately trying to restore order, attempting to shield Rye from further damage, but control had already slipped away. The attackers ignored every warning. They lifted Penna back up. One final spear was delivered, not just to hurt but to humiliate and overwhelm. The ring became a scene of unchecked brutality, leaving fans wondering whether this was the beginning of a dangerous alliance or simply chaos colliding at the wrong moment. That Raw ended not with answers but with fear, tension, and one clear truth. The landscape just changed. This is Wrestling News WWE, where every spear, every betrayal, and every moment matters. If you want deeper breakdowns of WWE's most intense segments, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in because the wrestling never ends.